Non Plus, the premier issue, which interviews the police, Suburban Lawns, and the Gun Club. Regular features this month include Pre-Record with the Whirlybirds and DisContents with Keith Morris of the Circle Jerks.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I've kind of lost track myself. But Ian, this is a .44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off. You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
It is somehow appropriate that Gun Club should talk with Non Plus in the back seat of a car. Terry Graham, Ward Dotson, Rob Ritter, and the controversial Jeffrey Lee Pierce have recently taken major steps toward recognition, but they remain as firmly rooted in their LA background as in the Bayou Blues that spawned the Gun Club.
The marshes are sinking in a bright red sky, and you will make love to me tonight. Hey.
The only other band that's in the same category as us is the Blasters.
But what's
the biggest differences between us and the Blasters is they do it straight and we fuck it up completely.
We don't have
the attitude is so different that we're nothing like them. But we play basically off the same influences. They're very heavily influenced by country blues and Louisiana swamp rhythms and by traditional New Orleans rhythms and stuff. They're very influenced by all this stuff, but they play it literally like it really was. And we just don't even bother to try. Let's do a country song now, so that means we play slow and make racket. Let's do a blues song now, which means he plays an E and we make racket. Muddy Waters Back by the Damned. The thing is whenever you're not doing it right, man, just throw the guitar on the floor and make racket. I learned that, man. Our band always falls back on making noise, man.
But it's intelligent noise.
Your gestures meaningless. You're lost to the living man. Trade souls to the end. You thought winning as a woman meant failing as a friend.
People in LA have to wait till we get popular elsewhere. Then they go, oh, we should like them.
They have to be told.
Yeah.
They can't discover anything on their own.
I mean, it's just like New York or London or anything else. Everybody hates everybody. And everybody's stealing things from everybody.
Oh, not Los Angeles. Los Angeles doesn't even matter who was playing in 1977 or 78, the mask. Everybody
would go.
The thing is, it was such a small scene that everybody went out anyways, even if they hated the people and the band.
And it was real creative. Every band was really different.
Different
it's just that
interpretation
Los Angeles never had the media attention that New York got and that London got. So consequently, the bands here that were creative, that were good, they just died. There was
there were a couple of them that were great.
There was instant prejudice.
Usually because nothing there was like no reason for it. I mean, we had nothing like going in the
beginning
there was
of
instant
punk rock
prejudice
except like
against
Los Angeles.
I mean, the Runaways like ruined it for all of Los Angeles.
Yeah, Runaways were horrible.
They were the most
and
horrible
punk rock
group that
started
ever
here.
existed, and that's like the only band there was at the time.
I can see clearly from the time and eyes. I'm going to the mountain with the fire spirit. No one will accept all of me, so the fire will stop.
The thing is like in the mid-'60s, all those punk bands, when it originally started, all those bands were from Los Angeles,
Music
like the whole
Machine.
punk tradition came from this city.
And
there was all this
The Balloon Farm.
But the real mecca of punk rock is Seattle.
They just didn't even.
Sonics,
they just like
yeah.
made
And
buzz
Electric
sounds.
Prunes.
They were great.
Yeah.
The Sonics were from Seattle.
So Electric Prunes. That's a real other origin.
Really good punk. All those West Coast things, every bit of that stuff. Nothing came out of New York then. Nothing.
They ripped L.A. off. But this is the sleaziest, grossest, slimiest, oiliest city in the world.
Even though it did start punk rock.
It's awful.
It's a horrible place.
And I would rather live in
That's
Anaheim.
why it started punk rock, is it's so gross here. It's a natural expression of a city like this.
It's boring.
Because can you imagine dropping acid and walking around here? There's so much to blow your mind. It's so sick. It's the sleaziest city in the world. Hollywood Boulevard is so sick. I mean, it just beats the shit out of everything, It's
I'll take 42nd Street any day.
42nd Street is just rated X, but this street isn't even rated X, and there's weird people.
No, people in New York are too fucking uptight to be really psychedelic and shit.
And here, they're just really... I saw this guy
People in
singing.
LA got nothing else to do except lose their minds.
I saw a guy on the street corner singing the theme song from Happy Days with a guitar that was completely out of tune. He wasn't even playing chords. He was just going. These happy days, I
know that.
I knew that was like the pin. I'll never see that anywhere in the whole world, let alone the universe. I mean. And that is why I'll never move up here, because of people like that guy.
Did you ever see when there used to be those horrible parties at the Tropicana and Kim Fowley used to drag people off the street into the party and make them play?
That's another horrible place.
It would be like some horrible completely burnt out like psychedelic black cat would like stand there and go yabba dabba do, yabba dabba do, yabba dabba do, and he'd just be like playing no chords or nothing.
Gasoline. I asked her for water, she gave me gasoline. Crying out when will I ever get back home?
Back East was great.
They didn't understand us on the whole tour either. The thing is that they didn't care. The thing is like they like the record's like doing well there, and like everybody was ready for like somebody to do something else different for a change. We weren't New Romantic, and we weren't like Echo and the Bunnymen or some shit, and we weren't like some punk band, right? So they came out and we were doing this weird thing, and everybody in East Coast was just really ready for that. So like they were just going crazy. I mean, you know, every set we did there was like a complete mess. I mean, it's completely like a big, you know, giant like riot or something.
The one complaint was that they didn't get Jeff's lyrics right, and that's the only problem. Is they do all the reviews, because there's lyrics that sound sexist and sound racist, but if you listen to the context of the song, the context of the album, the whole idea, they're not. But the people back East just are guilt-ridden and they don't get it.
And I really, really enjoy taking traditional lyrics out of like a song like John Henry or something and putting it into this song that's like a complete mess, you know, and just like taking that whole thing and blending it like into the same thing. And like they would translate a line like I said, I'm gonna buy me a gun as long as my arm and kill everyone who ever done me harm. Okay, they go, what a lunkhead line this is. And the New York Rockers said, what a lunkhead, stupid line this is for anybody to say anything like this. I stole the whole damn thing off of Furry Lewis. He wrote it in 1928.
And then two months before
I never wrote that line ever.
2 months before that, they give a rave review to some reissue of a Furry Lewis album or something. That's their typical attitude. They intellectualize absolutely everything.
Not being able to figure out what the fuck.
Just will take it for what it is and just leave it alone.
If they could take anything that serious, then they should just like go out commit suicide. They should just like all go die because like there's like no truth to the world no more. Like they should have fun.
Shouldn't look for the truth of the world in a rock and roll band.
I'm gonna buy me a graveyard of my own. And kill everyone who ever done me wrong. I'm gonna buy me a gun just as long as my arm. I kill everyone who ever done me harm. Yeah,
there's still a lot of whining, and there's still a lot of bitching, and there's still a lot of, oh, we can't eat, oh, we can't sleep, and shit. And you're not supposed to. I mean, you're working.
But there's another thing, too, is that you play in a band for a year that nobody goes and sees and nobody appreciates, and people actually boo and spit at you, and you still stick it out. You know, that's dedication. That means all of us believe
it. It is dedication.
We really did believe in it, and now it's just starting to.
It is dedication. It's more like stamina. You know, more like stamina is a better word than dedication. I was never even dedicated to this band. I just figured I had nothing else to do.
Perseverance.
You know, I had a complete Bo Diddley attitude towards the whole damn thing. Might as well do this, because what am I going to do? Go work?
I know my special rider. I can feel her in the dark and feels like heroin to me. Feels like heroin to me. She feels like heroin to me. She cannot miss a thing. She's like heroin to me. She's like heroin to me. She's like heroin to me. She cannot miss a thing.
Atomic Cafe, 422 East 1st on the corner of Alameda near Little Tokyo.
In this edition of Pre-Record, Nonplus would like to introduce the Whirlybirds. The title of the song is Cumbia del Sol and was co-produced by Liam Sternberg and Ed Stasium.
For the best in vintage clothing and top quality alterations, Straight Jacket Clothing, 8046 West 3rd, Los Angeles. Straight Jacket. 658-8190.
Speak easy, drink easy, pull easy.
Suburban Lawns captured the public imagination with their cult hit single Gidget Goes to Hell in 1979. Since then, they have released an album on IRS Records and endured sporadic but intense tours. Nonplus spoke with band members Vex Billingsgate, Frankie Ennui, Chuck Roast, and the quietly odd Sue Tissue about janitors, Mom, Dad, God, and videos.
One of the songs on the album is called Mom, Dad, and God. That's a song that I had written the lyrics to, and Chuck wrote the words, the music to. And we already have a video for Janitor that we did. And so I'm working on, I wrote a scenario, and a friend of ours and I are sort of co-producing and directing the video. So I wrote a little script out. There's like a 1.5-minute little mini drama that happens before the music starts.
At the dinner table.
Yeah, at the dinner table. Which was going to feature my dad, but I don't know. We did some shooting with him, and he's really a terrible actor. So.
Mama, Dad, God! Mama, Dad, God! Dad's a perfectionist and mom's a beautician. He's in the sin, she's in the contrition. Mommy is a martyr, Dad's a professional. Fantasy, love, and sad confessional. Mama, Dad, God! Mama, Dad, God! endless repetition, a money superstition, there's no kind of religion for me. Your mindless devotion, the last of emotion, no kind of religion for me. Mom and Dad ain't good, Mom and Dad ain't good.
To a certain extent, we try to mold the set so that Susan's singing all her songs at one time, or I'm not singing all my songs at one time, you know, so that the show sort of moves instead of becoming centered around one personality. Sue feels as strongly, I think, as anybody that we should take advantage of all the different personalities and talents in the group.
Mm-hmm. We all kind of drag each other around, I guess.
Yeah.
You have to. I would say more than the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like it would be limiting for us, I think, to really centralize around her. I think. Because I think, like I said, I think we all have a lot to offer. We all write the songs.
Yeah.
We all sing. We all write lyrics. So, and in a sense, I think it's important that the people who write the lyrics, not always, but generally sing them. It's easier for them to get into the music. And all our songs are, when we're on stage, we sort of, everything's spontaneous as far as our stage presence, you know, as far as our choreography, if you want to put it that way. So it's important that the person who sings a song believes and understands the lyrics, because they have a better sense of how to express themselves bodily as well as musically singing.
Boom, 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 boom.
It's our first album.
Oh, yeah.
There's some things about it that we think are really great, and there's some things about it that
We'd like to do
pleased
over,
with.
but
Yeah.
you know, it was recorded over a period of a year and a half, 2 years, just about. Our producer was, real supportive of what we were doing. Gave some good ideas, studio techniques, and things of this nature.
But we have complete control over the final product, and even the packaging and everything is.
Yeah.
TOTN.
Mm-hmm.
So we learned a lot. I think the next one will be much better, but we're proud of this one. I'm kind of concerned that if the records aren't there when people go in to get them, which I've been hearing reports of, that they might become discouraged.
And just forget about it. It seems like you have to keep that momentum up. It just seems really weird to have to rely on salespeople at a record store to reorder the record.
Before the record was released, I think the pre-release orders on the records was in excess of 10,000.
Really?
That exceeded the initial
Pressing by a
pressings
couple
that-
thousand.
Will they have protein brows? Will they breed us just like cows? Will there be some test to run? Will we guinea pigs for fun? Don't really care if they take us away, long as we're back for work Monday.
We always felt that if we had to change or anything, personnel-wise, it just wouldn't be.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the
Suburban
same.
lines.
We were thinking of adding 2 guinea pigs, one on each side of the stage, but they squeak too much.
No guinea pigs. I had a trauma with guinea pigs when I was small. I had a mommy and a daddy guinea pig, and I had a big cage, and they had little guinea pigs. And I took the little guinea pigs out to play in the yard one day. I was going to play with them and stuff. And I was going to pick them up to put them back in, and I got 2 of them. And the third one, I was like in a corner, and I had a corner in the corner. I was going to grab it, and I was like kneeling, or just like half kneeling, and the guinea pig ran under my knee as I kneeled broke down and
Kid squashed it all. 6'4" of you.
we put it in a Wheaties box and put it in the trash.
Non-Plus will continue on side 2.
Come, Mr. Spade. You can't expect us to believe at this late date that you're the least bit afraid of the police.
Four albums and 4 years ago, the Police released Roxanne as a picture sleeve single. Now that their latest album, Ghost in the Machine, has gone platinum, it is interesting to remember that Police were once considered part of the same British wave that brought the Sex Pistols to our shores. Non-Plus joined Stuart Copeland, Andy Summers, and Sting in the midst of 3 sold-out performances at the Forum to expose their roots.
Well, you know, we go through a process of what we like to call policifying a song, I suppose, so that we'll take the song and work it a number of ways until it sounds like the Police. It's a sort of boxing ring affair. Yeah, well, you know, Sting gets me in a corner and I disagree with him and he punches me and then Stuart gets in and...
I get in there with the chains.
And that we think we presented it in the best possible form, the most accessible form, the one that really sounds like the group playing at its best. So without going to real specific musical examples, that's what we'll do with all the material.
Yeah, it's real difficult to actually give a sort of picture in a few words of how the Police works, how it adds up, because every song actually is totally different. I mean, every song, sometimes when Sting comes to the song, it's all there and we don't even have to think about it, we just play it. And sometimes we get really involved with working out different parts and stuff. I mean, every song, you know, tends to end up different the way we have to.
But obviously we have, you know, there are certain musical signatures that make it the Police, you know, the sound of the guitar, the way that the bass and drums play together, Sting's voice, the harmonies he uses. And it's a question of sort of using these elements in all the different songs and putting them all different ways, but there are certain things that will always typify the Police, you know, that it's us.
So the most useful thing in making it sound like the Police is that we are the Police.
Yeah, that helps. Always been useful.
Yeah. But we bring a song in and we try and play it like the Bee Gees. It doesn't sound very good. And then we try the Sticks version.
Try the Tijuana Brass version. And that's what we ended up with on our most recent.
So close now, this girl is half his age. Don't stand so close to me. Don't stand so close to me.
Don't Stand So Close to Me is about my adventures as a school teacher. I was a school teacher for a while. And I was fired
for standing too close.
Unethical conduct. I fell in love with my headmistress. The song was written a very long time ago. It was written 6 years ago. It's one of my more romantic moods. And since then I became politically active, you know, I became an anarchist, terrorist. And I've recently changed my mind about all that, and now I'm back to being romantic. So we recorded it. It's about a change of life. Male
What Sting is going through right now.
You can call it lack of confidence, but to carry on living doesn't make no sense. I can't stand losing. I can't stand losing. I can't stand losing. I can't.
We make small compromises so that we can avoid or master the large ones. And the small ones we make are things like the album cover design is not really that important as long as it's not offensive. In the old days, we had our image was a very important part, it seemed, of the process of selling records or shifting units. But our music is strong enough now, and we've established the music. The sales pitch has already been made. We don't need to worry about that anymore. So our album cover now is very simple. We don't need to have the image anymore.
part of the philosophy musically has always been to try and make it something new, to change the idea of a three-piece group and to have all the instruments as sort of like three soloists playing together all the time. So like the guitar part is like a solo all the time, the same with the drums and the bass. And that's the way we've regarded it. Cream, in a way, were also three soloists playing together, but they started playing in a certain way, and everybody copied them for the next 10 years since, so we had to not do that. You know, like the heavy lead guitar solos, the drums, you know, and that sort of heavy metal sound grew out of groups like Hendrix and the Cream, so that's not what we wanted to do.
This guitar solo that seems to be so absent from our music is not, when we say guitar solo, actually the drums and bass are still playing, even when Van Halen do it. And the same happens in our case. Only it's not the same series of boidly boids that you hear on every other. That's the only thing that's different. There are lots of guitar solos on it, but they're all so unique that they don't sound like the guitar solo, you know.
Bring on the night. I couldn't stand another hour of daylight. Bring on the night. I couldn't stand another hour of daylight. The future is but a question mark. Hangs above my head there in the dark.
Anybody can go to college and get a doctorate if they really want to do it, and that's not available in England. And some of the music departments here, especially in Los Angeles, are fantastic. The one I was at Valley State was amazing. Some of those people were incredible. Musicians and composers, and the one at USC I think is also exemplary. I think a lot of the English music that happened in '76 is finally translated in one form or another to here. Like the Eagles are no longer the reigning kings, for instance, you know, and I mean there is a, you know, the punk movement seems to have taken a hold in whatever way you want to view it really here, but I mean that has happened here now, so people are very aware of what's going on. I think underneath that all the same value systems are still operating within the record industry, and they're trying to do the same things, only the music itself has changed really, but the same things are still trying to be achieved.
We're at the top of one mountain, yes, but there are many others.
Well, there's two things. First of all, there's the quality of the music. Second of all, there's the reputation. And as you say, the reputation is gotten when you get to the top and everyone reckons you're number one. That's as far as it goes. But the quality of the music can keep changing. I mean, it can get better or worse, but it will hopefully at least keep changing. And that's the challenge.
You're assuming there's only one mountain to climb. I mean, we're at the top of one, but there are plenty of others. And we should climb those.
Yeah,
I'm talking about, you know, individual careers in other things and a different kind of music you can play.
Yeah, I think the challenges, I think, at this point are more subtle than they used to be. You know, before it was like, how the hell do we get from Cleveland to Buffalo? And
no, it's how the hell do we get from...
you know, it's like trying to maintain, not to to go crazy by having so much offered to you. I mean, at this point in our career and our lives, success brings everything. You know, everything is offered to us. I mean, apart from selling lots of records, people want to give us their bodies, their minds, and everything else. You know, and it starts to take effect after a while. And I think the hardest thing, really, at this point, is to keep perspective and remember who we are and what we are as a group, and to retain our musical integrity and to try to keep going. That's the main thing. I think what will hold us where we are is remaining a musical unit that has something to say and not losing sight of that fact. Instead, you know, we want to still be a group and not just be famous.
I'll send an SOS to the world. I'll send
finished a film called Brimstone and Treacle in England, which will be out in the summer. It's a black comedy, very black, and I play a very demonic person, very evil. Well, not very nice, horrible.
When you get to America, all the cities are the same, just one after the other. And the sort of nugget at the end of the tour is the prospect of playing in Rio or in Chile or something. Just something that's different, something that's wild. I mean, it's like the person was saying before, it's new challenges, I suppose. I mean, we know what's going to happen when we hit Detroit or Sheffield, but we don't know what's going to happen when we get to Santiago.
Yeah, we'd love to play Mexico.
The audience was fantastic. The audience in Mexico was particularly boisterous and noisy, which gives us excitement. If you've heard that we were dissatisfied with the gig, it was only like the venue itself, the hall.
It was a hotel which wasn't finished being built, and it was very dangerous. The floor kept vibrating.
I mean, if you were there, you will know that how crowded it was and how it looked like the floor was going to fall off the building. It was way up at the top of a skyscraper.
Those are the kind of things that keep going through LA and New York in perspective. You see, it's a sort of necessary exercise as well as the fun of going to exotic countries. We spent the last 4 years killing ourselves to play to a lot of people, and this question about playing in small clubs comes up from time to time, like it's what we should really be doing. What is the point of killing yourself and trying to sell thousands and millions of records so you can play in small clubs? I find that a reverse snobism that is really antiquated and out of date. And I like playing in big places.
Does it make you feel bigger?
Yes, that's right.
It's fine to play in small clubs, but I mean, like, this is such a cliche. Groups get big and they find, they work so hard so they can play to lots of people, and everyone says, when are you going to play in small clubs?
What we actually do well and succeed in doing is creating an intimate atmosphere in a very large place. We do that as our function. We make a place smaller. We create a nice, intimate, warm atmosphere in somewhere that you wouldn't think it possible. It's not a huge stadium show. It's the same act, really. We did 4 years ago. Right. We extend it, and I think it still works, and I think we do it rather well. So there's no real need to go back to playing in small clubs.
Welcome to this one-night show. Just take a seat, they're always free. No surprise, no mystery. In this theater that I call my soul, I always play the starring role.
Vinyl Fetish, the largest selection of alternative music in Los Angeles. Vinyl Fetish, featuring the latest in imported and domestic publications. Vinyl Fetish, 7305 Melrose Avenue.
Non-Plus welcomes Keith Morris of the Circle Jerks as the guest record critic for this edition of DisContents. Guitar Beat by the Ray Beats on PVC Records.
Lots of twangy guitar and lots of sax, New York surf music. Having grown up at the beach, I never knew that there was really any surf in New York. But there's good production by Martin Rushent here, and it's all instrumental, no vocals.
You Were Never My Age by the Stepmothers on Posh Boy Records.
Sound a lot like the Sweet sped up. Jay Lansford plays some pretty good guitar, but the music lacks real punch, especially the bass.
Cypher on Right Brain Records.
Another Los Angeles band. The music they play sounds like it comes straight from a spy movie. Pretty slick production, mysterious and dark sounding.
Too Fast for Love by Motley Crue on Leather Records.
Another Los Angeles band. These guys are great. They look almost like the New York Dolls, but come across more like Van Halen or Deep Purple. Popish at times, but that's maybe because of the vocals. Definitely heavy metal.
You Goddamn Kids by Geza X on Final Gear Records.
This music is hilarious. This guy's like straight out of a cartoon. Just like music at the circus or on a ride at Disneyland. He definitely deserves to be nominated for president. Mr. Mommy Man.
Who's Landing in My Hangar by Human Switchboard on Faulty Records.
Sounds a lot like early Blondie, real popish, danceable party album. Hear some traces of early Stones with some keyboards thrown in. A little bit of Velvet Underground and Modern Lovers. Pretty good album, sort of a garage type sound.
Don't make me laugh. They only make me feel like dying in unguarded moments.
The Church on Capitol Records.
They're an Australian progressive pop band with a little bit of psychedelia thrown in, and they sound a little bit Bowie-ish, a little bit like the Psychedelic Furs, only a little bit more straightforward, a little bit heavier, more to grab onto.
Roman Gods by the Flesh Tones on IRS Records.
New York band, a combination of the Yardbirds, Rolling Stones, very garage sounding. Real party band though, like your early Stones. Great band, great band.
Fade In by After Image on Contagion Records.
The real downplayed album. It's dirge music that really goes nowhere. A lot of repetition, but there's no edge. Nothing like Public Image.
Hit and Run by Girls School on Stiff America Records.
All right, now here's a band. They kick ass. All girls, not like the Runaways or the Go-Go's. Not lightweight. Definitely ass kickers in the same mold as Motorhead. Yeah!
define, forward, name, no, non-plus, verb form, to cause, to be at a loss as to want, to say, think, or do, perplex, see, puzzle, non-plus, noun, form, a state of perplexity, quantity, non-plus, meaning, no more.